What is the best place to advertise for drivers? It's the million-dollar question. We get asked it all the time, looking for that short code. What is it? Is it Craigslist, Facebook, Indeed? And the answer is, it depends, of course, right? But let's start with what's been working for you historically. You know. So let's say you're in the early stages and you're not really tracking this. You kind of know what's been working for you. Step one is we got to track all the way through. You know what you spent last month. Hopefully, if nothing else, you can comb through some credit card receipts. And then compare that to what you hired. And hopefully, you're tracking that all the way through. If not, please, you need to start using a system where you've got tracking links for each source. Stop asking the drivers, how'd you hear about us? Automate that, lock it in, get the human opinion out of there. Science, make it science. Then, now that you've got that in place, you can make educated decisions on what's the most effective source. So people who are like, yeah, we've been tracking for years, Scott. Okay, all right. Now next up, how do you go about figuring out who's more effective? Well, you take the number of hires that source generated for you over the length of time and how much did you spend? That's your cost per hire. So whoever's the highest cost per hire, the least effective, swap them out. Give that money to either one who's been working for you or try someone new. Now, when you try someone new, man, how many emails do you get a day on that? 50? On everyone with the secret sauce and the new magic silver bullet that's going to fill all your trucks. So how do you evaluate that? Well, one, maybe ask around in your neighborhood who's working for you. But I think a big key component is, and it's not fair to all those vendors, is a lot of it depends on your creative and your headlines. And so ask them, how are you going to help me create effective headlines? How are you going to help me create effective creative and map out the flow? They're motivated because they know if they help generate leads that convert into hires, you'll keep coming back to them. If they have a polished creative team, if they have a polished team who knows how to make headlines that generate clicks, that's who I would start with. Take your least effective, swap it out, put in someone who's going to offer those services to help you out. Especially if you're a thin team, you've only got one or two recruiters, you don't have a marketing person on staff. Lean on those partners, on those vendors. And then as you kind of figure out, some pro tips. I will say this, across all of our clients, Indeed seems to be working, generally speaking, consistently. They spend a lot of money to fill up that database, and you can mine it. You can figure out who works for your competition and send off a message about that. That's pretty cool. Craigslist seems to be more local. Look, Facebook is a whole different animal. There's 72% of drivers are on there. But you gotta have really creative headlines. And Mark Zuckerberg and his team are not gonna help you with the creative. So you gotta be pretty sophisticated to make that work. So just know that if you're entering in that space, but they're there and you kind of got to be there just because of the volume. So if you're wondering where to start, download our Smarketing guide. You can put in how much money that you spent, compare it to the hires per source. And if you're struggling, give us a call. We're happy to give you a consult on how to build this or figure out what's the next source you want to take a shot at. Maybe you know you need to be on Facebook, but don't know how to tackle that. Maybe you know you need to do better at Indeed, but don't want to spend another bajillion dollars there. You can be more efficient. We can help you there. So let us know what your issue is. Where are you in your journey? And let's help get you to fill in empty seats.